Yo guys, what is up? Max for Diablo 4 video, and today we are talking about the Lightning Storm Druid and the buffs coming to it. Now, we are getting a ton of information about Season 3. We do not have the official patch notes, and I've got a bunch of other videos that I need to make about other changes and other buffs, but I just wanted to make this quick video specifically talking about Lightning Storm Druid because they are basically doubling its damage in Season 3 with this new unique. Now, I am a big Lightning Storm enjoyer. When I joined Maxroll, they actually asked me, what's your favorite Druid build? What do you want to cover on our Druid guides? And I said Lightning Storm. So I am the official Lightning Storm guy for Maxroll now. And it just so happens that we are getting a brand new unique that is going to be doubling the damage of Lightning Storm, paired with some of the buffs that I found on the companion. I think Lightning Storm is going to be crazy. When I tested it last season, Lightning Storm was the fastest Druid leveling build. However, because we were getting aspects for Earth and Bear skills, I ended up leveling with Pulverize. However, this season, Lightning Storm is absolutely what I'm not only going to be leveling with, but pushing into the end game. And I want to talk about how it synergizes with this new companion and everything you need to know. Let's get right into it. So showing on screen are these new unsung aesthetic wraps, and they're basically perfect 4 out of 4 gloves. They come with increased critical strike chance, up to 12%, which is massive. Ranks of Lightning Storm, perfect. We get 4 extra ranks of Lightning Storm, so basically what normal gauntlets would give you. They give us +3 ranks of the Defiance passive. Defiance is the passive that gives you increased damage with your nature magic skills to elites. So this will be going from a 3 out of 3 12% multiplier against elites with nature magic skills to a 24% multiplicative increase to elites with nature magic skills, which is massive. But the even bigger thing here is the ginormous roll of lucky hit chance. This can roll with up to 24.8% lucky hit chance, which should be flat lucky hit chance, which is incredible for Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm in of itself is a skill that causes a bunch of damage in an AoE, but it has a lot of synergies with lucky hit and crits. And just getting both crit chance and a ton of lucky hit chance is going to be so strong. And I'll explain those synergies a little bit more in depth in a second. But what really makes these unique not only is having all of these fantastic things on it, but Lightning Storm gains 1 additional strike each time it grows. So originally, when you're casting Lightning Storm, it channels and it goes like 1 bolt, 2 bolt, 3 bolt, 4 bolt. When it's going to be growing, now it gets 2, then 4. So it'll just grow way faster. It'll be a lot more instantaneous, the amount of damage that's going to pop up on your screen. And you're still going to keep all the bonuses from if you're channeling it, you can walk a little bit and channel it at 5 or 6. And now, Lightning Storm critical strikes cause lightning to strike twice, dealing up to 20% increased damage. Now, they said in the stream that these lightning bolts that strike twice are your own lightning bolts. So all of your damage is going to apply to them. They're just Lightning Storm hitting again, but they're going to basically cause it to deal not only double damage, but more than double damage, because it'll hit again, and that other bolt that hits will deal increased damage. So it's going to get another damage multiplier. This is basically doubling the damage of Lightning Storm. Not only that, but we've got the Defiance on it, and it's going to give us the multipliers. This should help Lightning Storm a ton with its biggest issue. Lightning Storm is notoriously great at AoE clear. However, it struggles at single targets, and now we're going to be not only doubling the damage, but allowing it to hit these tankier targets way faster and channel way more, and giving them more damage against elites with the extra Defiance passive. All of this is shaping up to be really strong, and why I'm so excited for Lightning Storm. The next thing to mention for Lightning Storm is kind of the pet that will synergize with it. In Season 3, we're going to be getting a Construct pet. Now, this pet will follow you throughout your entire time playing, and you get 2 skills for it and 3 support skills for those attack skills. If you've ever played Path of Exile, it's going to work pretty similar to that, where you pick an attack skill and then you pick 3 support skills to power up those attacks. Now, I grabbed 4 different attack skills just to show you an examples of some that might synergize pretty well. Tempest is going to electrically charge enemies, causing it to deal damage to themselves and additional enemies each second over time. If the enemy is killed, Tempest spreads to another enemy, gaining additional time and bonus damages. These bonuses are also applied if Tempest is reapplied onto the same enemy. This means that we can stack Tempest, or a pet can stack Tempest on enemies which is more electric damage and more AoE electric damage for us, which is fantastic. Protect is going to give us a barrier over us for a percentage of our maximum life. This could be really interesting because Lightning Storm has a ton of synergies with Lucky Hit Chance. The gloves that we're getting or get like additional Lucky Hit Chance, and there's a stat in the game that is Lucky Hit Chance while we have a barrier. Classically, if we wanted to benefit from this, we have to use Temerities. Temerities, we lose a lot of defense. However, if our pet is constantly giving us a barrier, we could benefit from the Lucky Hit while we have a barrier and even improve our damage even more. Next up, there's Lightning Bolt. This is just the pet launching lightning bolts, which could synergize very well with the build. And then Flash of Adrenaline to give us bonus damage. Now, the support skills are where this starts to get really interesting. We've got efficiency support. When the supporting skills deals damage, you gain critical strike chance to the same target. This could mean that we want these skills hitting as many targets as possible, because when we're going to critical strike with Lightning Storm with these new gloves, we're going to deal double damage. So critting is going to be really important. So efficiency support is probably going to be a must-have. Electrocution support adds damage over time as lightning damage to the build and has a chance to stun enemies, which could be really nice for like survivability. Fortify support is going to, when the construct uses the skill, we're going to get Fortify. Classically, Aspect of Retaliation is usually used on an amulet slot to deal a bunch more damage. So this is more free Fortify and more free damage for the build. Resource support, player gains an amount of primary resource when the supporting skill first deals damage. If we're not using EM or Earthen Might, getting extra primary resource can be really nice for the build. And lastly, gripping support, damage and effects done by the supporting skill to distant enemies pull them toward the Senesoul construct can only occur once every so often per enemy. Enemies getting pulled and grouped nicely is fantastic for Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm, we've got when we crit, we're going to send out those like dancing bolts that hit everything and do a bunch of damage. And we could use this with the Tempest. When these enemies are dying, they're going to be sending Tempest and kind of like exploding with this electrical damage. And so grouping them up would not only make Lightning Storm more efficient, but also give it more damage with all the dancing bolts overlapping. So there's a lot of cool potential here. Now, all of this is going to come together with a well-constructed build, which I'll be working very hard on making once we get the actual patch notes. But just to give you an idea of just how ridiculous this is going to get, Earthen Might, when we use the aspect that lets our storm skills proc Earthen Might, when we proc this, we're going to get guaranteed critical strikes. Now, usually, Earthen Might is a quality of life thing. It's not quite as much damage as some of these other passives, but now when we proc Earthen Might, we're going to be getting guaranteed critical strikes for 5 seconds. This means not only we're going to be critting, so we're going to be dealing more damage, but all of those crits are going to be spawning double lightning bolts, meaning that for 5 seconds, we have 100% double damage just off of spawning double lightning bolts. And that's not even accounting for all of these lightning bolts now critical striking, which is going to give us way more effects. For example, dancing bolts. Whenever a lightning bolt strikes, it spawns 3 dancing bolts. Now, 1 lightning bolt is going to be 2 lightning bolts. So now every time that a lightning storm casts, it's going to be spawning 6 dancing bolts. So we're doubling up the damage on dancing bolts. With all of these lightning effects happening, electric shock is going to be proccing more often. This is going to lead to more enemies getting immobilized and giving us this 21% damage multiplier way more often. They're also going to be spawning bad omens way more often, spawning these lightning bolts, which we can pair with the electrocution glyph to like juice up the damage of all of these lightning bolts that are going to be spawning, and we're going to have enemies more vulnerable more often. There's just so many synergies with a lightning storm hitting more often. Overload, also a lucky hit because we're going to be basically attacking twice every time we're attacking once now when we've got Earthen Might active. Overload is going to have double the chance of proccing because now we've got 2 lightning bolts hitting at the same time as opposed to 1. And I think all of this, when put together with a well-constructed build, hopefully will not only make Lightning Storm the best AoE build that we are going to see on Druid this upcoming season, but hopefully it becomes a solid bossing option. Obviously, with Lightning Storm, its biggest weakness is bossing, and with this new aspect, it's definitely going to be a better bosser. It remains to be seen if it's going to be a great bosser, an okay boss, or a bad one, but Lightning Storm is shaping up to look really, really strong, and I will be doing a lot of coverage for a leveling guide, which I'll have on the way once we get those patch notes and I get a little bit more time in the game to try to min-max what we're going to see. We haven't seen the aspect that we're going to be starting the season with. Every season, there's like an aspect that you get within your first like 10, 15 levels that goes to the codex that you can use. If it has to do with Lightning Storm, we get a new aspect for Lightning Storm. That could be crazy. But I just wanted to make this video just a little bit of like a general theory craft to talk about why these new gloves are going to be so crazy and why I'm so excited for Lightning Storm in this upcoming season. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch y'all in the next one. Take care, guys. Peace.